everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a game called Biome. So when I saw Biome for the first time, I looked at it and I said, hey, it looks like Animal Wingspan. And I want to tell you right now, because some of you might be thinking the same thing, it's very different than that, even if it has resource symbols and animals and even birds are in this game. But in this game, you are playing and simultaneously doing a bunch of actions and then taking an action each turn. I'm going to show you how to play it, and then I want to come back and talk about it. Each player has their own player board, and they'll get a starting pair of cards, a bird and a plant that matches that bird. You are going to be, over the course of the game, filling in spots on this board. You're also collecting resources from sunshine to plants to fruit, insects, rodents, and fish that you're going to need to play cards. This is a board where you're going to keep track of each player's points, and you'll have different benefits, like every time you cross here, you get some sunshine. And you also keep track of the turns in the game. The game is going to last 3 years, and each year there's going to be 4 seasons, and each season you'll run through these actions. In spring and summer, there will be some events that will happen. But normally what you do at the beginning of your turn is you discard down 8 cards in your hand. You'll then draw 2 cards from the deck. You'll collect 2 resources, any 2 resources that you would like, with some bonus resources if you're in last place. And then everyone is going to play a card. And everyone can do this simultaneously. When playing cards into your area, each card, whether it's flowers or plants, different animals, will show you which area by the border, this green border, goes in the jungle, while this one here, the spectacled caiman, can go in either the jungle or the marsh. And this prairie rose here goes in the middle section. There are even cards that you can get that will allow you to change. This changing conditions will allow me to play this. For example, I could play this here and put the frog on top of it to move them out into that area if I so desire. When you play a card, there is a cost. For this one costs 3 fish, and then there's an amount of points that it will immediately give you. So these plants, this one costs 3 sunshine and gives 6 points. So everyone's going to do all this simultaneously. Then the seasonal events will happen, which I'll get back to. Then in turn order, each person will activate a card. Now you have a bunch of cards with actions on them. And on your turn, each player can activate a card and do whatever that card says. So this one says, if you filled up a row in your biome, flip a coin. If it's heads, get 7 points. If it's tail, you get 2 sunshine and draw 3 cards. This one says, get 4 bugs and draw a card. Everyone else gets a bug. But here's the thing, you can only use each card once per game. So like this leaf frog here, for example, says for each bug in your supply, you get 2 points, maximum of 10 points. So you're going to want to play that at the right time. Use that action. And there are so many different cards and actions that you can take over the course of this game. You have to decide which ones to play into your biome. In the spring, you're going to have nesting occur. So for that, you'll take these little nests. If you have a rabbit, you'll put a nest on that card, and you're going to fill it with 6 little cute rabbit tokens. So here they are, and you'll fill that nest with those. And if you have a bird that's next to a nesting tree, and each tree will show you on the tree how many nests it can have. This one can have 2, this one can have 1. And the bird on the feather, you will see how many it will have. So for example, this greater yellow-headed vulture will have 2 hatchlings. And you'll put those in the nest like that. Now in the summer, anyone who has a predator can try to eat the chicks and youngs of someone else on there, because that's what predators do. You'll make a predation roll where you need to roll higher than the number of plants they have in that particular biome. So in the swamp, how many plants? The more plants you have, the harder it is to do it. But if you do it, you will eat a couple of them, scoring some points for that. After all the predators have eaten, then everyone is going to take the ones that they have left over, and they will try to feed them. You will feed them, for each one, you'll feed them one of the foods that it shows on the card. So the scarlet macaw here eats bugs and fruit. And you'll pay that, and then for each one that you turn in, you will get 2 points. And then the nests go away, and they'll come out the next spring. So you're going to go through this 3 years, and after 3 years, whoever has the most points is the winner. You'll be getting points from other things. There's achievements that are here. The first person to achieve these will put a cube on it and score that many points. And there's a couple other little modules and things you can throw in to get points. I really like how Biome looks. Obviously, the big draw here are the nests. These totally unnecessary component in this game, but people are going to like the nests. Now, on that note, the nests, having the cute chicks and bunnies in there, is going to gnaw at some people's heartstrings when other animals eat them. Now, this is very much part of, the animal kingdom, but that's going to be a thing for some people. And there's also a bit of take that esqueness to it, but the way that predators work are you are going after the person with the most points. They have some rules in here to keep it kind of fair and balanced, and you can only attack something in the same biome as you. So if I'm a water predator, I can only hit water. And the fact is, if you don't eat those young, then that person's going to get a lot of points. They may not even get all the points from them. A lot of times I have a rabbit out there, I'm like, I don't care if you eat a couple of them because I couldn't feed them all and get points for them anyway. The only thing I'm unhappy about is that you're also getting points. But that also encourages you to build lots of plants. So the more plants, the harder it is to get that die roll that's over it. That die roll is the one thing I'm not convinced on in the game. I get it, the having more plants, but if you roll high, it doesn't matter. And there's a smidge of luck there. And there's also a smidge in how many cards you're getting. But one thing about the game, and I didn't mention this in the overview, but it's really important, is that you can turn in 2 resources for another resource. That is huge in this game. You're getting lots of resources from your actions. You get 2 free resources every turn, which is big. It means you can pretty much play anything you want on your turn, at least one, that thing that you want, but you're able to turn resources into points. You have to figure out how to do that, but turning 2 into something else. Cards are considered a resource. I can turn in 2 sun to draw a card. I can turn in 2 cards to draw a card. I can turn in 2 cards to get a water. The whole, at the beginning of your turn, discard down to 8. It's almost there just to warn you, if you have more than 8 cards, you're discarding some to get the resources you need. So I like this. I like the action sequence where everyone's playing at the same time, and then you all take one action. And so far when I played this, the scores have been often very, very close. Sometimes they spread apart because if you ignore the objectives and someone's not ignoring them, they're going to do well. And you can get caught up sometimes in different things. Predators can get you points, but if a lot of people aren't building nests, that's not so useful. There are also not as many points. And building big point cards can be useful. And as you move around that track, you're getting bonuses and benefits. Sometimes the benefit is play an animal for 1 less resource. The game also comes with some modules and such, but the base game itself I found to be very entertaining. We are now in an age, thankfully, where we're starting to see games come out like this that are not that complicated. This is really not that complicated. You have these cards, they cost things, they give you points, and then you can use that card one time. But if a card's going to give me 2 points for every snake I have on the board, I'm going to want to wait to have more snakes, but also what other action am I going to choose? And so it offers some good decision making without getting overly complex. And if you like nature and love how this looks, I think that you will really enjoy Biome. So this is a pretty cool game. It takes, if you're a fan of games like Wingspan or the recently released Primates and things like that, I think this will fit in there, although this has animals across all sorts of different, genres and, from an alligator to a bird. But it also shows kind of an interconnectedness between all of it that I think people will enjoy. So I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10. I find it to be fun. The pieces are certainly cool. The nests, like I said, completely unnecessary, but adds a certain charm to the game. There's a bit of player interaction with the nests, but there's also some nice simultaneous play between everyone. The game ends at a very good time. You're not going to fill your board probably, although there are ways to do so. And in fact, you can get points, extra points for doing so. But it also can reward you for, there's not a whole lot of mattering where cards play, but there's some. Birds next to nests. Sometimes having things in the same line. Each animal's different types. Sometimes having different types matters. So there's a lot of replayability in the game too. So I enjoy Biome. Definitely check it out. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.